Hi, I'm Jeff Harris, and welcome to SkillQ Advisor blog. Today, Greg Stevens is joining me, and Greg is a learning architect, but he's also a PMP. And if you're not familiar with that expression, it stands for Project Management Professional. So with projects getting more and more complex and with so much different types of digital media being incorporated, it really is important that we get more organized and that we understand both the project management discipline as well as instructional design. So Greg, thanks for joining us today.
It's good to be here, Jeff.
So my first question is, what is a project manager? And contrast that maybe to an instructional designer.
Well, if we think about an instructional designer is responsible for just certain aspects of a project. For example, creating objectives, lessons plans, test items. But a project is much bigger than just that. If we think about an instructional design project or a multimedia project, there are different personnel on the project, such as the multimedia group, the programming group. There are different stakeholders involved, and the project manager needs to be aware of all aspects of the project. In fact, Jeff, one of the analogies I like to give is that of a symphony conductor. If you think about a symphony conductor, one of the things that he is responsible for is making sure that all of the different performers play their instruments at the right time, much as a project manager needs to make sure on a project that all of the different personnel on a project are performing the tasks that they need to perform at the right time. But Jeff, also that conductor, there are other aspects that they need to be aware of. They need to consider what is the music that the orchestra is going to play. They need to consider what is the symphony hall they're going to play in. So there's a lot of different aspects, just like on a multimedia project, thinking through all the different aspects of a project.
Okay. So Greg, most people are familiar with the ADDIE model. So how does the ADDIE model link back to project management? Is that a methodology, or is that really something altogether different?
It really is a bit different. The ADDIE model, analysis, design, development, implementation, evaluation, is a model that guides our creation of the instruction. It is a phase model as we work through the different phases of a project. The project management is applied through all of those phases. And Jeff, the Project Management Institute, which is the largest professional organization for project managers, they've actually outlined 9 different areas that project managers need to have expertise in to effectively manage projects.
So we only have a few minutes, but can you cover at least those 9 areas, at least at a high level?
Well, when we think about project management, there are different areas that project managers need to be proficient in or skilled in. Things like scope, figuring out what it is the project will deliver. Things like schedule, figuring out who's going to do what and in what order and when will the project be completed. Budget, figuring out how much the project is going to cost and then making sure that the project stays on budget throughout the life of the project. Also, there's some other areas that many times people don't think about, risk or uncertainty, and saying, how do we plan for risk or uncertainty on our project? How do we make sure that there is sufficient quality in our project? We look at procurement. Sometimes we need to buy goods and services for our project, and how are we going to go about that? And then, of course, there's the leadership aspect of our project. As a project manager, your team of instructional designers, media artists, programmers, they're looking to you to be the leader on that project.
Well, that's certainly a lot to consider. So if a instructional designer wants to become a project manager or at least get their certification as a PMP, I mean, what does it take to do that?
Right. Well, of course, the first thing to do is to gain actual project management experience. So as an instructional designer, to ask to be given certain aspects of project management to take on some of those tasks. Then as an instructional designer acquires some project management experience, then they should consider pursuing a PMP certification. And PMP, a project management professional, is a certification offered by PMI, the Project Management Institute. And Jeff, to obtain that certification, PMI says that project managers need to have at least 4,500 hours of project management experience. And in fact, it must encompass at least 3 years and more than likely more than that. Additionally, they need some training in project management. In fact, PMI suggests that you have 35 hours of project management training. And then lastly, and the most difficult part that most people say is actually taking a certification test. PMI certification test for the PMP It's 200 questions long, and it's a 4-hour exam.
Wow. It's no trivial task to get your PMP, I guess.
No, but it is something that will serve you well in your career. More and more, we're seeing employers want project managers to be PMP certified. So it can really be something that not only sets you apart in terms of gaining a position, but also something that then, as you're in that project management role, allows you to manage projects effectively.
Okay. Well, Greg, thanks very much for joining me today, and I look forward to having you back in the future. And thank you for joining me, and please join us again. And check the blog frequently, as we'll be updating with more information, not just about project management, but about a wide variety of topics related to instructional design and digital media.